Sure. 6. 7. I'll play first. Fine. Tap for mana. Stone. Your turn. Draw one? Yeah. Go. Call stone? Yep. Your turn. During draw segment. Yep. Easy. Sure. Call.
All right, we're good. All right, welcome back to round 3. You guys wanted him, now you got him. Jeff Jones is on camera playing Abdul Control versus another Abdul Control.
All right, so it looks like they have already started playing. So we have
We got it's a glare, but Jeff has a Gretel and
a cat.
Looks like a cat, a familiar cat. Yeah, familiar of a cat of familiar wind.
And his opponent has an Elvish Priest and a Feetsing.
Yeah. Do we know who his opponent is? Derrick Griffin. Awesome. So Derrick's holding Double Cake, Thunder, Mephistopheles, and
Flame of the Outer World.
Yeah.
Right now he's at turn 3, so Jeff went first, and he's tapping Feetsing and a black ring.
3, 4. He's gonna play Mephistopheles. Yeah, definitely playing it while Jeff is tapped out, so he can't Zeeks. Looks like Jeff has a Gretel. Take a look at Jeff. Take a look at the list. I'm gonna pull the list up.
The big difference between the two lists is that Derrick does run one more Mephistopheles than Jeff, so they do start grinding into the late game. That will give Derrick a slight edge because he will have a bigger threat than Jeff does if he can burn Jeff of all 3 of his Mephistopheles before he runs out of his 4th.
Well, Derrick also looks like he teched out his Abdul list. Definitely two different. I mean, they'll look the same, but they're really. I mean, when you really break it down, look at the list. Derrick's playing 2 copies of 0.
He definitely
and a Carmilla.
He definitely made his deck list more towards the aggro matchup instead of the control mirror. So he was probably planning on playing a lot of Grim today instead of actually the mirror. So we'll see how that pays out for him in this matchup because, as you can see, Jeff does play a lot of small creatures. So one timely 0 could honestly just wipe Jeff's boards completely away.
Well, right now, I mean, Jeff's gonna have to come up with an answer to this Mephistopheles.
Yeah, I mean
this. Looking at. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Looking at his just his main deck for game 1, Mephistopheles. I mean,
he has no stoning the deaths, even though he does run dark. So that means that honestly he has really barely any main deck out once a Mephistopheles hits the board, besides his own Mephistopheles, or a boost from Guardia.
This could be rough for Jeff here.
All right, Derrick's on the play.
Derrick has Thunder and Feasting in hand. Double Cake Zone and Flames. I mean, Derrick's in a commanding position right now with, with 5 mana counting Feasting, with Double Cake, and Mephistopheles. He can pretty much protect that Mephistopheles all the way into the red zone. So
he's looking to just soft lock Jeff out of the game right here by using the Mephistopheles as a huge threat.
Yep. There's his Flames.
Definitely good, making sure Jeff has no mana playable.
Well, he floats. He can still float a mana.
how could he have floated the mana? Beat Sing was flamed, so he couldn't.
Was it flamed?
He couldn't chain it. Remember, he did get flamed, so there was he did lose his mana source for the turn, so he had
Was
no way to
there
respond.
any damage done while I was gone?
No, I don't believe there's any damage
Okay.
yet.
Jeff's on the play. He has at 5. He will tap. He will most likely tap Abdul for 6 here.
If we can get a, okay, so definitely cake zone. If we can get a better hand at better look at Jeff's hand, we'll be able to at least see how he can try to come out of this enough stuff is there maybe.
And drops his own meth.
Good.
Yeah, Jeff has a kick zone.
He had a Necronomicon in his hand. He did reveal that. So right now we know Cake Zone and Necronomicon. Derrick going to 5, attempting the stoning meth.
Derrick's going to lose 500 life points.
4.
Jeff's deciding whether or not he wants to cake zone this.
This is an important spot for Jeff. He really needs this meth to stay on the board in order to keep pace with Derrick at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna. Yeah.
I'll go to 35.
Have a counter world. Counter war, sorry.
15?
And there's the 15 attack. Jeff drops to 2,500.
Wasn't Jeff supposed to draw there for Cake Zone because he had a Gretel on board, even though it was negated?
No, the spell didn't resolve. Yeah, it's Jeff's sideboard is very reactionary, so he'll more than likely bring in the Exceeds, the Bill of Truth. Maybe he'll. Yeah, it's
gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty good amount.
I mean, going first is pretty important.
Derrick did tap himself out here, so if Jeff is able to resolve a play, he could make it. Good point. He's not tapped for mana either this turn, so he will be sitting at 7 if he chooses not to J-activate Abdul and instead getting mana.
Look at his graveyard. He's got the meth. He's got double familiar, but I mean, he's holding Necronomicon, but not having the not having stoning seems to be really hurting him.
3.
3 cards in hand.
For Derrick. You can see that he's hovering the Zeeks in his hand, swapping back and forth between that and the Zeeks and the Necro, so trying to decide which he wants to play. I think though
Jeff's is weighing his options.
he's worried about losing his hand to the in-face Necro. He doesn't want to lose resources because that'd be a big problem at this point in the game.
Yeah, we're gonna ejaculate Abdul here. And Jeff may be setting himself up to take a lot of damage here by nullifying the Mephistopheles to be able to block it, and then Flames to kill it off after combat damage has been dealt. So then he's gonna be taking he'll be taking 1,000 just off that, but I mean, it gets the Mephistopheles off the board.
Yeah.
Because right now Jeff doesn't have an answer for this Mephistopheles.
The big thing is he's probably gonna have to trade Abdul to it, which is
Yeah,
kind of a big,
he'll
which is kind of a
block
big
Abdul.
thing in the control mirror is that if once he loses his Abdul, it's gonna be pretty easy for Derrick just to J-activate himself.
Yeah, well, he's gonna target attack it anyway. So
Yeah, there's not really a choice here.
see.
It's gonna attempt to block with Gretel. Is that 2 Thunders in Derrick's hand? No, that's a Thunder and a 0.
See now, what Derrick can do is he could have technically, if he'd have waited, he could have thundered the Gretel, and the attack still would have went through to the Abdul.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a misplay there by Derrick.
I guess he just wants to hold it. No, I guess he doesn't look at Abdul as a threat at this point, and he wants to hold the Thunder
He's
for
just
going
basically
for
looking at it
lethal.
to try to go lethal, yeah. But I think at this point, just casting the Thunder there, he's removing both creatures.
Yeah.
So he's getting a 2-for-1 for that at that point. So it's. I mean, he has the cake zone to be able to counter.
Maybe he was thinking Jeff was baiting him in because Jeff didn't. You know, he tapped 1 mana, deactivated and passed, and he does have 4 cards in hand, I believe. So he's kind of worrying that he might have an answer to the.
Yeah, there's the bolt. Or there's the bolt.
So he's
bolt.
Jeff is going to take 500 from
Jeff will take
Mephistopheles
500
back.
for there, for sure. Yeah, go ahead and feasting it. He's debating whether or not to cake zone this. 4 cards in hand.
He's still 500. And he's maxing. Okay, right, you got it. Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Give Jeff 500 points back.
Give him back.
Actually, no, it should stay at 2,000 because the first effect, I don't think he counted for the first 500 that was lost. Yeah, I just don't see how Jeff's going to pull out game 1.
He's going to attempt the Necronomicon resolve.
He's gonna have to attempt Necronomicon, nullify the ability, swing into it, and then recast Thunder.
How many? 4? Cake zone?
Yes, definitely has to eat a cake zone. He can't let this Necronomicon resolve. Jeff's in a tough spot. He needs to cake zone this.
He's got a Zeke, Cake Zone, Flame, and Elvis Free, so he really, unless if he doesn't resolve
I mean,
the cake.
it's really tough. Yeah, he has to cake zone it. I mean, if he hasn't, he doesn't have the answer. But yeah, resolving Necronomicon here is massive. I mean, Jeff's gonna be low, but I mean, he gains access to his entire graveyard now, so
Life is a resource.
pretty much.
The big thing for Jeff right now is that he is like if he does like right now he tapped Abdul, so and if he
Well, he
doesn't-
needs that second mana.
Yeah, well,
he needs the mana period.
Yeah, he has to play a monster to be able to block Mephistopheles, or he's going to be in a very tough spot.
Yeah, just basically recasting the familiars. He needs to be able to draw those cards. There's the priest. So there's a window here.
All right, so the big thing with Derrick is that he's going to have to.
Yeah.
What's up? Response here. Okay. Yeah, to not discard your hand. Yeah, and also this game. Oh, okay. Gotcha, okay.
So Jeff negated the Necro, so that way his Elvis Priest did fall
Yeah.
into the graveyard instead,
Yep.
and he did not have to lose his hand.
Yep.
So Derrick draws for turn. Now he has a Zeke's, another Meth, and I believe that's a Pete Sing in his hand.
Yeah.
So right now, Derrick does have a really good chance of going for lethal, or at least just putting a ton of damage. Because if he has to keep blocking Mephistopheles, he's going to be taking 500 each.
He has Zeke's.
Turn no matter what.
What he needs to do here is Derrick can actually win the game at this point, because what he can do is
Zeke's once he targets with Abdul.
Yeah, Zeke's when he targets with Abdul, and then use. Actually, no. Feasting only protects from spells.
No,
it doesn't do abilities.
No, Zeke's. He has a Zeke's in hand.
No. I'm saying it's Feasting.
Oh. Yeah,
You can't face Zeke.
but
He's gonna have to Zeke's it.
He has the Zeke's in hand,
Yeah.
so he can just Zeke's and swing for game there. Because he still will take the 15 and the 5 because Abdul targeted. So that would have actually. So he did have lethal on board if he could have baited out the negate from Abdul.
Some people were asking about if they want to know more about this game, where can they go to?
They can go to forceofwilltcg.com. There's also a Facebook page, Force of Will TCG US. It's got about 3,500 members already. It's pretty much blown up in the last month. I first started it, it wasn't very big, but it's the official Facebook page, so check it out. We'll post I guess we'll post a link in the chat. People can go check it out. We'll get them added. All the rules, erratas, previews, promos, playmats, all the important information's all there.
Alright, so Derrick resolved his second
Yeah.
Mephistopheles.
Yeah, at this point with a J-activated Abdul, facing down to
two Mephs.
two
Jeff's
Mephs.
in a
It's looking really rough.
Depending on how many Thunders Jeff has in his graveyard, he could do some really like. No, never mind. Abdul's gone off the field. He can't even negate the Necronomicon anymore. Never mind.
Yeah, it's gonna be really rough at this point. With Derrick being able to basically shut off both of his Mephistopheles, so he doesn't have to sack them. It's, yeah. There's a flame to deal 8. I'm pretty sure he shrinks here. Yep. So Abdul will go back. So now we're about to eat some Mephistopheles. But answering it is going to be rough.
He's just gonna try and put up blockers. Oh no, he just brought up his own Meph.
Yeah, he'll play his own Meph.
Guess I didn't fix the glare at all.
Yeah.
I thought it was better.
Well, I mean, what's going to happen here is, I mean,
He has a Zeke.
Jeff's I mean, yeah, he has a Zeke.
So he can just pump up. He can swing with Meph. Jeff's gonna have to declare a block. He can just pump up one of the Meths and then swing for 17.
He probably want to save the Zeeks, and I mean, he can just shrink, or just
Oh, feet singer.
Derrick loses 500 for targeting Jeff's Mephistopheles.
Yep. 30.
I believe he.
Did he take it?
I believe Jeff just ate the 15 to the face.
Okay, so yeah, Jeff took 15. He's at 5. I mean, I don't know what the thought is. You just have to. Oh, he's looking for another mana. He's got a swing here. Yeah, he blocks. Zeke's your guy. Yeah, gives it all plus 200, plus 200. Your side.
But he can't attack with feet this turn, can he?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Feasting, it doesn't matter anyway. Feasting
Yeah. Well, I'm saying.
prevented the damage.
Yeah.
So.
That's all that mattered. But he did give Jeff another turn, which could be.
Well, the Mephistopheles is gone.
Yeah.
Jeff is. What's in his hand? Besides his graveyard.
The important thing is he has a feet seeing in there, a bunch of small chump blockers, a thunder, 2 cakes in.
He's just saving the Zeeks for another.
Attention, Yu-Gi-Oh players.
He's just saving to protect the Mephistopheles at this point.
Please proceed to end match procedure.
He's
Turn
gonna
player
play the
takes
feet
your current
singer.
turn. Take
Yeah.
5 additional turns. If you're unfamiliar with end match procedure, please raise your hand, call for a judge. One will be with shortly judges. Please assist in end of match procedure.
He just really wants to keep them at from swinging.
Well, I mean, he's got to play it while he has a chance to play it
Yeah.
now.
Shrinks the cat.
Yep.
That leaves him with 2 elves and a thief sing.
That's game. Going to game 2. Alright, so let's look at the sideboards here. Jeff has 4 bowmen, 1 flame, 4 Glinda, 2 exceeds, 3 duels, and a law. The duels will definitely come in, along with the exceeds probably. Possibly some number of Glinda.
Depending on who he's playing, he might, because of how this matchup goes, he might actually just try and go like full out of aggro in this matchup, because of the way his decks, he doesn't have answers if he runs out of resources really fast against a regular base deck where he's going to need to get dudes on the board and just kind of like power through. So if so you might just side in all of the Glindas, maybe another law, and just try and like shut down Derrick early and just try and get the pressure on the board and keep the pressure there. Whereas
Yeah, that's definitely one way he can bring it in. But he definitely needs the duels.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he definitely is going to need the exceeds, because having that to be able to counter your opponent's
anything.
Yeah, basically anything. But it's being able to counter your opponent's Mephistopheles is going to be huge.
Oh.
You see Derrick bring in one of his zeros to the front. I don't know if he's probably going to take 0 out, maybe. But if he takes that out, I mean, it's I don't know.
I think that's the only reason he's iffy on this matchup is because Jeff does play a lot of little dudes and his familiars and his Grettles, so he kind of just like doesn't want Jeff to rush him, so he's going to try and maybe keep those in just in case. Whereas Derrick's side deck, he does have 4 Rapid Decay, 3 Spirals, 3 Elvish Bowmen, 2 Crime and Punishment, 2 Laws, and 1 Stoning to Death.
Yeah, I can definitely see the Crime and Punishments and the Spirals coming in. Possibly the 4th stone. Is it the 4th stoning?
That is the 4th stoning.
Yeah, so I mean, possibly say. I mean, Rapid Decay really isn't going to hit anything in Jeff's deck. I mean, for the most part.
All his little dudes float, so it's not really worth wasting the resource. Especially
it depends on. Well, Elvish Priest actually in this matchup is pretty valuable because being able to get the mana jump on your on the mirror and being able being able to drop something like Mephistopheles on turn 3 when your opponent may not have the counter magic at the time. Or just even late game, just getting to the point to where you can drop a guy, you can drop like Meph on, with 5 or with 6 mana, and just being able to protect it with, a cake zone or whatever.
I think the big thing is that though, in this matchup, Derrick main boards and even side decks a lot of removal and a lot of ways to keep Mephistopheles on the boards. I don't think he will side in the crimes just because he doesn't. I don't think he values like keeping the Elvish Priest off the board as much as Jeff needs to in this matchup.
Well, the thing about Crime and Punishment that you got to keep in mind is it even works like with tag into a tapped Resonator or a J-Ruler, so he can then trade his Priest into the Resonator and then just kill them off.
That's true.
It's a cheap form of removal, and that's the it's just
that's the good thing about it.
So Jeff draws into double kick zone. Is that Necronomicon?
It's Zeke's, a Thunder, and no unknown card.
Okay.
He's going to return the 2 cakes in and get 2 new cards. So I don't think he wants to grind it out. I think he is just looking for aggro space at this point.
Yeah, it looks like he brought in the Glinda, and he brought in the Glindas for sure. It looks like.
He's going to put back 2, and see what Derrick is. If we can get a good view.
Priest, VCing, Rapid Decay.
Oh, he did
Flames.
put the decays in, so he definitely does want to keep the Elvish Priest.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Priests are deceptively good in this matchup. Man, it's all about being able to drop threats and protect them and drop threats, or be able to drop something, progress your board while protecting yourselves from your opponent's plays. So
I think the big interesting thing is that Jeff chose not to run Thief Sing in his stone deck, whereas Derrick did. He has run 1 Magic Stone of Wind instead. So
well, the reason he does that is because I don't think Jeff wants to ever brick on Gretel. Yeah, I mean that's whenever you do brick on Gretel, I mean it doesn't really happen that often, but when it does, it's such a detriment. Yeah, there's the 6. Yeah, going back to what I talked to about how crucial it is to be able to get that mana jump on your opponent, and then you see him pretty much snap Zeeks that Gretel.
That's 200 to Derrick here from the cat.
Yeah, so Jeff loses 2. Oh no, I mean Derrick loses 2, sorry.
He's going to resolve the Glinda by tapping the Elvish Priest and the Windstone.
Oh, that's pretty good. Derrick finds the True Stone. So we have the Rapid Decay. The Rapid Decay will probably eat this Glinda here, if not the Priest.
Participating in any of these side events, please make your way towards the scorekeeper's table to register. There will not be
He's
a
just going to
checklist
target the first
required,
here.
Yeah.
nor a registration
Yeah,
form.
bringing the mana back to basically even is where we need to be in this matchup. So, I mean, Jeff definitely has the board advantage right now, but now at least the mana, you know, the mana.
The mana is more
yeah,
stabilized.
The mana is more stabilized. So.
Oh yeah, like you can see, Jeff is just trying to get as much damage as possible. He does kind of just want to keep this pressure going onto Derrick. Derrick is holding the cake stone in hand, so Derrick looks like he's just sitting pretty. He's got a 0 in hand just in case. He does attempt to play a little more dudes. Familiar's going to hit for ping for 200 more, and Glenda's going to ping for 5.
Yep.
It looks here.
31.
We'll probably see an end of turn flames, possibly.
Does look like Derrick is, or Jeff is just going to pass with a 4 mana up. Derrick's going to draw for turn, tapped for himself, finally hitting the black green.
Yeah. So we have a second black source here. He has some decent. I mean, he has some decent options. I mean, now he can.
And 0 looks like double.
I mean, now he has
0.
Does he have 0 in his hand?
Yeah, he has a 0 in
Okay.
feed sync. So he's definitely going to be looking at definitely has some good options. Plus, he has the shrinking effect from Grizzballista if he just wants to get rid of the cat straight up.
And Derrick definitely has a lot of options. I mean, the problem is, like, right now, he's not able to really, we're talking about being able to drop a threat and protect it. It's like anything that he plays right now, he can basically just get eaten.
There's the shrink on the cat.
Yeah, but it costs black. You're going to tap your, there you go. You need to attack your black zones.
Alex.
Yep. But yeah, so I mean, ideally he would love to play the feasting here during the attack phase, but he has no way of backing up with the double cake zone in his hand.
Oh, he's going to go for 3.
He's just going to main phase it.
I think he's just going to try and drop the 0.
Morgan?
A guardian. That's what he has. Yeah. Okay. So he probably goes and gets.
I would say another black green source.
Yeah, it has to be a black green source, I think.
Either that or he wanted feed sync, depending on what he plans to do. I think it was the black green though from coloration. So the cool thing about Guardia is that he's a threat. He does bait out the flames, the flame of outer world here. But he also has really good utility because of his just straight up ability to give something plus 400. Can really make a Mephistopheles an even bigger threat. And
Derrick's gonna take another 700 here as Jeff attacks in with 2 creatures. Now the thing is, like, Derrick, he tried to cast something during his main phase, and this gave Jeff the window to basically just toss stuff on the board at this point. So I don't know if maybe that was the correct play by Derrick. I think I would have.
Just waited for the 0 or the.
I think I waited for the 0 or the
feasting
to force Jeff into a reactionary position, to where then he couldn't punish Derrick by playing another drop that turn. So you basically would, at that point, you're making Jeff. You would be making Jeff decide, okay, do I basically counter this, or do I protect? Oh, there's a meth. Does it have it? I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think
He did have a Zeke's in his opening hand, I believe.
Okay. Well, yeah, the Zeke's immediately ate the priest.
Yeah.
However, Jeff has a really good hand. It looks like it was a double thunder into flames.
Definitely has really good.
So he has about 1,800 points of burn. So I mean, what's the? Is there a 4th card? Or is it just 3?
I think it's just 3.
Okay.
Jeff is just checking life points while he decides if he wants to respond to Mephistopheles.
Let's see the chat asking. Glenda basically is a 2-drop creature. She's a 500 resonator that when she comes into play, her enter abilities, when she comes into play, she gives something basically unblockable. And then you can sack her to make your opponent pay 2 colorless more, or she counters a spell they play. So that's what Glenda does.
The big thing here is he just wants to keep all of Derrick's removal from actually hitting his dudes.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to slowly get on them.
Let's replicate number 1 on Glenda. Jeff draws.
Did he draw into another Thunder?
Yeah, possibly.
So,
So Derrick takes 5 after the 19.
He's definitely kind of looking to make a lethal play here. Kind of definitely putting pressure on Derrick.
Mm-hmm. Does Jeff have Necronomicon in his hand? If he does, it's just game. Yeah. Attacking for 2. Derrick takes 2, dropping to 1,700. We're close here.
I'll be interested if Jeff tries to J-activate Abdul to try and bait the Mephistopheles and just burning with Flame of Outer World response after taking the damage. So that way, yep, there he goes, the J-activate. Just going to make sure to keep that Meth off the board as easily as possible.
There's a griddle.
Looks like Jeff only has 1 red source, so that's kind of the big thing about him.
Yeah.
Even though he has 2 Thunders, he can only play 1 per turn.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's holding, Jeff is holding lethal with, was it Double Thunder and
Yeah, but the
Flames
big thing is because he only has that 1 red source.
he can't cast them all. Yeah.
So it looks like he negated Meth with Abdul and then is attempting to block with Gretel. So he will. So
Yeah,
Jeff will take
Jeff
500 because of
500 here.
Mephistopheles' ability.
Yep.
Oh, and then Derrick is going to respond by J activating his own Abdul.
Yep.
Chaining his Ebony Prophet's ability, tap himself, tap a mana, and then deal 300 damage to Familiar Cat.
Yep.
Derrick did tap himself out though, so that's tap.
Well,
or
I mean, he still
tap,
has.
not tapped himself out, but tapped all his monsters.
Yeah,
so
he still
can,
has mana open for 2 Cake Zones, so.
or a Feet Sing. He negated with Abdul. Abdul has an ability that says you can. He blanked up with it Abdul, and then he was able to block the Griddle.
Yeah, we got this.
He's going to tip the swing with 1K at Derrick.
So Jeff has a Zeke's insane.
Once again, Yu-Gi-Oh players, if I can have your attention,
Holding
please.
1,300
We
points
are
of
now
damage.
accepting registration
So that's
for
going
our
to put him
2
at
side
700.
events. First side event is win a box, $10 entry, 8-man flight, single elimination. The winner will win a box of Crossed Souls. Second will take 10 Circuit Series points. Third and fourth will both receive 5. We also have a win a mat that we're accepting registration for at $5 entry. Still 8-man flight, single elimination. The
Oh, so he's
winner
attempting
will
to boost it because
receive
it's still
any
game because he has the
entry
Zeeks that's going to give the Gretel the
Unfortunately,
plus
we'll
200 plus 200
registration
boost.
entry mat we had today, the one with Alice on it. Second
So that
will
is game.
also take 10
They are going to
points.
go game
Third
3
and
here.
fourth will each
That was a
take
really,
5.
really nice
Last
aggressive
but
play
not
there.
least, I'd like
I think
to
Jeff made the right
formally
decision.
invite
They
you
just
guys
went
to
all
our
out on
Wednesday
Derrick,
one
getting
day
all the
event
aggression he needed.
tomorrow. We'll be hosting a brand new main
It made
event
so even the
filled with
Mephistopheles
Circuit
really
Series
didn't do
points
much there because he
and
wasn't able to swing out at Jeff after turn 4.
victorious. We will be accepting registration at 8:30 in the morning, starting as close to 10 as possible. Registration for that event will be $20. Deck lists are required, as well as a registration form. Once again, registration will begin for that event tomorrow morning at 8:30. Be here sharp, on time.
Did Derrick put
ready
his
to go.
J-Ruler under the mat? That's what it looked like. Which it's really weird because if you're going to do that, like if you're going to make it look like you're going to side out your J-Ruler, I don't know why you just wouldn't put it in your deck and shuffle it in. But anyways. Because like right now, I mean, it's not like he's hiding from Jeff what he's actually like. If he would sign, I mean, he doesn't have a ruler.
I mean, I guess he's just trying to mind game, because I mean that's another big thing about that is like your opponent doesn't know. Is like he could be bringing in another.
Once again,
Yeah, but when you have to go, you have to like reach into your sideboard. I mean, it'd be pretty noticeable. And like, I mean, if he pulling something on the mat, it's gonna look kind of be kind of interesting. Unless he like hit like three rulers under there and just gets the big one.
Your round shortly.
So Derrick should, I believe Derrick's going to play first here, which Derrick does get the ramp that he needs off of Elvish Priest and Gretel's early. You might see
I mean,
it might be a little bit hard.
I mean, we
for
saw.
Jeff.
I mean, you saw how much the getting the mana advantage plays in the match. So it's kind of interesting. Neither player chose to sideboard anything else out. So
It seems like they were both happy with their choices.
yep. I mean, at this point, I mean, I'm pretty sure the players already have a set sideboard strategy. They know what they're going to bring in. They know what they're going to take out. So.
So tap Abdul, hit a red green. Jeff's going to tap, also hit a red green.
Yeah,
But Jeff does have
Jeff
the
has
Elvish
the
Priest
priest.
here.
Yeah.
That was a crime and punishment in Derrick's hand.
Yep.
So that will allow, if Jeff does ever get a big threat on the board, it is going to stop him. Derrick has 2 cake zones, a Zeeks, a flame, a crime, or 2 Zeeks, excuse me.
2 Zeeks,
Flame
2
and a
cake
crime.
zone, a crime, and a Mephistopheles.
Or is it a Meph? I thought it was
Yeah.
a flame.
It looked like a Meph when I looked at it when we first got it. Jeff has
Oh yeah, it is.
double cake, familiar. Oh, it was Gretel. Yeah, there we go. Got to stop that extra mana ramp.
He's going to
There's
play
the-
familiar here with this
yep.
black green. Draw a card.
Jeff has a really strong hand.
He's definitely getting this aggro in that he wants. He goes to 3, hitting another black green. So that puts 2 blacks, 3 green sources, and 1 red.
Well, they'll always mostly have green sources.
Yeah, I believe everything but the Gru's Ballista for Jeff and the Gru's Ballista and the Feet Sting for Derrick. So they do have a really high chance, but they can.
Yeah.
The big thing they have to worry about is actually running out of red source, because that actually kind of hurt Jeff in a little bit in the last game where he wasn't able to go for lethal as quickly. It's just Derrick is going to attempt the Crime and Punishment, the familiar now. So Crime and Punishment, for those who don't know, is when when Resonator deals X damage, deal X damage back to that Resonator. So no matter what combat it was, if it was against a Resonator, against a player, or against a J-Ruler, it will still just deal the full damage it dealt back.
Yeah. Can also target J-Rulers as well. So. Derrick has a feasting in his hand. He'll probably try to flash this in at the end of Jeff's turn. Possibly attempting to get the mana jump.
He might try to.
There's Jeff with his own. There's the Zeeks. It's like, no sir, you can't get that extra mana on me.
Definitely trying to keep Jeff out of options, so Jeff just cannot just swarm the field with little.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's talk about what I was talking about earlier. They would have been able to hit. At that point, Jeff would have been at 6 mana here. If the feasting would have hit, and then he could have played his own Mephistopheles, and then since Derrick only had a cake zone backup to counter Derrick's cake zone.
So 3 black greens, 1 red green, and the Feet Sing, which can either protect a dude from a spell, or protect target J-Ruler Social Turn from a spell, or give green mana itself. So.
Yep, there's another feasting. He's attempting it again. I don't think. Does he have the answer?
Yeah, he does have a Zeeks, so that would be 3 Zeeks. He would be able to play this one.
Once again,
So Derrick's thinking now, because he knows the Mephistopheles is coming, so he's basically going to try to save it for them, but
he doesn't know about Jeff's
Jeff
cake
doesn't
zone.
know about the double cake zone.
That's true.
You guys have 40 minutes. You may begin.
Jeff is just trying to put up as much pressure as possible.
Yeah, you see him go get.
And I think that's kind of what Jeff wants to do, because he's basically putting Derrick on the back foot here. Derrick's not able to play his own big cards, unable to get the advantage off of his own Mephistopheles. So that's kind of what Derrick's idea is. Or
Yeah, I mean,
Jeff's idea in the matchup is.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Jeff does have the resource advantage, and so he's definitely using it to, Yeah, there goes the Mephistopheles. Oh, he has a stoning.
Whoop.
So yeah, there goes the Zeeks, and here I'm pretty sure we'll have 1 cake zone. Jeff is thinking.
He knows he has the stoning, so he might just let it die here, because Derrick did reveal.
Well, we just saw Jeff's hand. He does have Necronomicon.
Yeah.
So I mean, with it going to the graveyard, it's not that big of a deal. So all the Mephistopheles did is actually bait out the Zeeks, and so.
And now that he knows 3 are
Yeah.
removed from the game, it does.
Yeah. So there goes Derrick casting his own.
You have 3 on tap? Yeah, because I only casted that this turn on your bet. Okay, so I had 3 on tap. Yeah.
Just have to do a quick mana count.
Yep, quick mana count.
So Feet Sting blocking the or making it so that Jeff's own Feet Sting cannot deal damage this turn. So So double cake zone zoning, or double cake zone stoning and an unknown is in Derrick's hand here.
Draw card concern.
Jeff passes, Derrick draws.
Yep. Calling stones here.
It's another red source.
Both players sitting at 7 mana. There's the Meph. Does Jeff have the counter spell? Well,
I believe he has.
Well, he can't count. He has. Does he have equal? He has a. Oh, he can't. Yeah. Yeah. He goes. Uh-oh.
Jeff did tap the wrong mana there, so
Yeah.
definitely hurts him.
Black.
Stoning.
Stoning.
Letting that Mephistopheles resolve actually might be a big problem for Jeff now.
Yeah.
I'll tip this cake zone to stone. So right now Jeff has 7 mana. He can attempt to call 8 during his turn.
Well, I mean,
Or he can just deactivate Abdul and attempt to get rid of the Mephistopheles. Or at least block it for a few turns. Looks like Jeff does have Thunder in hand, so he can trade the Abdul for the Meth there. He also has Flame, I believe, if I saw that right.
I mean, Jeff can also J-activate, play Necronomicon, while Derrick only has one mana left open. And then set himself up. But I mean, it could be a little risky, but
Jeff, I do not believe, has the mana to J-activate and play Necronomicon because he
does.
He has 2 red greens.
he has feasting in play.
Oh, feasting does do any
Feasting
well.
can tap
Correct,
for any
correct,
killer mana.
correct.
So you see him looking. He's looking, and he's. Is he going to go for the Necronomicon play? Possibly. Just thinking about it. No, there's the kitty cat. Draw a card. Did he draw Meph? Yeah, he drew a Mephistopheles, so this could change some things as well. Now that Derrick can't answer the Mephistopheles that Jeff just drew, I mean, it's probably the better play than.
But remember, Jeff does know he has stoning, so he doesn't really want to tap out here or tap out to 1 mana, and then with him knowing.
Does Jeff have the? Yeah, so he's going with the Necronomicon play. Yeah. Okay. Good. Because this allows Jeff to basically have the backup of all the cake zones that are in his graveyard.
That puts him at 2 mana too, so
yeah.
if he does attempt to make a play.
So now he used Abdul to nullify Necronomicon, so he didn't have to discard his hand. Yeah. So we're looking at feasting, double. What was that? Gretel, double cake zone. All right.
Taps, gets his 4th black-green mana. But that's a priest in his hand, I believe.
Yeah.
He's going to drop the priest here. Oh, no.
It's going to be... This is a close game. I mean, Jeff is really taking... If he gets to untap with a Necronomicon and a J-activated Abdul, it's really going to be rough, regardless if Derrick has a, Mephistopheles or not.
I believe there's no Zeeks in Derrick's hand, so if he does attempt to swing at Abdul, he can just block it with Familiar Holy Cat after blinking the map. So that's actually really good for Jeff right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Derrick's in a... he's definitely in a rough spot, so... Derrick's thinking long and hard about well, you can't J-activate, he taps for mana, but...
The big thing here is that...
Is that Guardia?
I believe it is Guardia, that's what it looks like. The big thing here for Derrick is that if he doesn't really want to swing out with Meth here, because if he does and he blinks with Abdul, he won't have any protection. So he kind of just wants to keep the Meth on the board.
I don't know about playing Guardia here. I mean, I probably would have waited till, because he knows Jeff will probably try and blank the Mephistopheles.
And just keep
out attacked first, forced him to blanket and then played the creature so he doesn't have to sack. Now, I mean, Jeff doesn't have to. Jeff doesn't have to blanket, unless he attempts to attack Abdul. But
yeah, it's 2 kick zones in Derrick's hand, so and he has 3 mana, so he can only resolve 1. So if Jeff plays this right, he can attempt to put some good pressure on the board.
This is Jeff's game to lose at this point with an activated Abdul and a Necronomicon in play with 7 mana. It's pretty rough, especially with 4 cards in hand and 5 in the graveyard. I mean,
Draws for turn.
Abdul control mirrors, I mean, they're just chocked full of multiple different lines of play, and I mean, it's just, you see how the incremental advantage that Jeff was gaining with the mana, it's just put him in a dominant position at this point.
And the big thing here is that Jeff went more for like the aggressive and the Necronomicon play so that he can keep his resources after he runs out. Derrick just went for straight, 1-for-1 removal. So you're seeing here now where like, Jeff has more cards on the board, more cards in hand, just because he's able to keep this pressure, and Derrick wasn't able to deal with it early with his own maps. Yeah. So it's definitely leaning. Yeah,
Jeff has double Zeeks, a couple other things.
Double Zeeks? Is it
hand
double
shaking?
Tap 4. Drops his map.
Yep, there's the map. Good old map. Not often you see Jeff Jones shaking on camera, huh? Negate.
Past Jeff did still leave himself up with 3 mana. That is a rapid decay now, so that can destroy his kitty cat or his Elvish Priest if he chooses to.
Yeah.
The big thing is how much does Jeff value the Elvish Priest this late into the game?
At this point, it's...
Oh, he's targeting...
Yeah, he's going to draw the cat because it can be sacked to do damage. But, I mean, at this point, the priest has put in so much work for Jeff that it's,
the momentum it's gained isn't really like, it's already done its job.
If he gets destroyed, that priest put in work, so it could have a couple days off at this point. So we have a Thunder, a Flames, and double Zeeks in Jeff's hand. Yeah, this is... Whew.
Has there been no damage done?
No, it's
Nope.
just 4K.
Welcome to Control Mirrors and Force of Will.
Wow.
I mean, I expect Jeff to start going in pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yep, there's the
Tap
J
3 to
activation.
deactivate Abdul.
He has to at this point. Otherwise, the map is going to eat that Guardia.
He's going to swing.
He's debating.
Swinging out might not be in his best interest with what Jeff has in his hand.
Yeah, now that we have 2 J-activated Abduls, we're going to definitely see some
silly shenanigans.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of chasing and a lot of responding to this, responding to that. It definitely makes the board state a lot more complex when you have 2 J-activated Abduls. Alright, so that is an attack for 8 to Jeff. Let's see what he decides to do.
How much?
Here. Well,
he's
debating whether or not.
declared attacked. He's not.
Yeah.
Jeff can still do the side blocker, or play a spell in response to the attack.
Yep.
That's looked like what Jeff is debating.
He's debating whether or not to flames this
this
Guardia right here.
He can bait out the
Yeah, it's definitely about to eat
the
this
kick
flames.
zone with the flames, and then just negate his own Necronomicon. I think it could be alright. Just make him. Just Derrick let it resolve.
Yep. Yeah, he's now. It's like he could have.
Oh, that's right. He can't respond to flames, so he can't negate Necronomicon.
Yeah.
So the flames would have to be removed from the game. How?
Is that a Gretel? I think Jeff drew a Gretel. Could be wrong. Gotta see when he picks his hand up. Yep, looks like a Gretel.
The big kicker here is that Jeff's still holding on to double Zeeks. So it definitely has this like.
He got to.
Definitely has a lot of pressure.
He has to protect. He has to protect his creatures or pump up, and I mean, Zeke's having 3 different modes is really, really, really good in the control matchup. Modal spells offer a lot of. Yep. Target attacking onto Mephistopheles. We'll probably see a Zeke's pump here, or.
So
I mean, to be honest, we might even see a Mana Stone shrink. I mean, we may see a shrink from Jeff on his Mephistopheles. Yep, he's going to go for the pump. There's a Cake Zone. So is this where Jeff just goes, well, let me go ahead and give my guys an additional +2/+2?
now Derrick's tapped out. Jeff can decide to just go for a lot of damage.
And we're going to go for it, I think. Oh, no flames. Yep. Uh-oh. Derrick's like, oh noes. And he's going to shrink Abdul.
So what just happened?
So Jeff attempted to give all his dude +2 because Zeeks has 3 effects.
Okay.
After that, Derrick negated it with Cake Zone. Jeff responds to the Flame of the Outer World on a duel. Now, usually you can't respond to Flame. So what happens is once Flame resolved, that gives an opportunity to be able to play cards again in response to the rest of the cards on the chase. So once the Flame resolves, Jeff was able to use his Gru's Ballista Stone, which allows you to tap it and a black source to reduce, and he's explaining this right now, reduce a J-Roller Resonator down 300/300. So that puts the So it puts down the flame, or it puts down the Abdul to 700/700. Flames kills it, and then he negates the Necronomicon, so everything but the flames, which could not be responded to, will fall back to the graveyard.
Yes.
Okay. Is there damage done there?
No.
500 to Jeff, I believe.
Why would Jeff take 500?
Targeting the Mephistopheles?
What did he target it
Oh
with?
no, he targeted the Abdul. Never mind.
No, he does not take 500.
Okay,
Jeff
so
did
they're
not
both
lose.
at 4K.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's still at 4K.
I see that. I'm like, that's not right. Is it? I guess.
Derrick's attempting to get the Elvish Priest, and Jeff is just going to respond with Thunder.
The Elvis Priest?
Elvis?
Elvish, yeah. I mean, he's got a wicked hairdo, so it's basically like Elvis.
Check him out in Vegas. He's got a show at the Venetian.
I'd watch that show.
I probably would too. Honka Honka Burning Abdul.
Does Derrick not have a hand?
He has the one card
He has
face
one
down,
card,
which
okay,
should
yep.
be a Cake
It's
Zone.
a Cake Zone.
So right now he is going to swing. He's swinging for 1,000 with Abdul here.
Yeah.
He's going to put some pressure on the board. And then 700 from Big Sing.
It's 23.
Oh, he's going to... So in response to the attack for 7, Jeff attempted to +2/+2 all his guys, and then Derrick responded with a Cake Zone to negate the Zeeks, and now Jeff is trying to decide if he wants to respond. So Derrick actually might be taking more life than just 700 from this.
Oh, sick.
He's just going to +2/+2 again, so he will take 200 more.
He's cast Thunder.
The Thunder, so ping
And
of
attack.
5.
So he takes more.
He's going to take 12, 2,200, 2,500 total.
Okay. So is that 50?
Yes. And he'll set up to kill him next turn. Unless Derrick draws absolutely nothing.
The Zeeks won't pump the Abdul, so
Well, no, he only took 1,000.
yeah, it took 1,000.
1,000.
Oh, he
and
did. He swung with
700.
Elvish Priest. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I didn't see him swing with that.
Yeah, the Kick Zone's not going to do it. So
Fantastic.
0. Yeah, it was a game. All right, Jeff got it.
Jeff got it 2-1 against Derrick Griffin.
It's a good match.
Jeff Jones proving he can play more than one game.
Yep.